Yo, what up everybody? It's me AJ and this is Liz. You get to see more of him in this video today. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on the side of his face right here in the temple. We're going to be using a pencil for the pencil going through his temple. And kind of like I said before in my past videos, and I'll show you again, I will be using the liquid latex spirit gum to kind of block out a little bit of the eyebrow and the hair right here. I already blocked it out, but I will show you what I use. I mean, it's pretty simple, spirit gum. And I'll be using the assortment of sponges like I did last time. The obvious liquid latex, blood. I'm going to be using this makeup stack again, this makeup palette for bruising and such, basic base makeup, and I'm going to be using a generic brand from Walmart bathroom tissue. It was 69 cents, why not? One ply toilet paper is probably better, but I mean, you can't really beat a sale for 69-cent toilet paper, so yeah. You can always split it in half if you want to make it thinner, but I'm just going to be utilizing this. So on that note, let's get started. So what I first started doing was patting the liquid latex on in the temple area, and I was putting a couple coats on just to make sure that I can get the tissue to actually stick and make sure that we can actually put the pencil on the tissue and make it look more realistic with having more of like a built up tissue. And now I'm putting the liquid latex on the tissue just to make it stick down even more. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you put a couple coats on just to make sure that it's very, very saturated and it looks very wet. That way it's much, much easier to get the pencil to stay and look more stuck into the actual temple, which is very, very cool. And more talking. So then I took the pencil and I wrapped it in tissue and dunked it into the liquid latex to ensure that it could stick to the wet tissue on his temple. And like I said before in the beginning video, I did block out his eyebrows with some spirit gum, and that's how I did that. And then now I'm just putting some more tissue around it to kind of make it stick up and not look so kind of drowsy and hanging off. So you just make sure that you really saturate it well, and as you can see, it looks like the pencil is now stuck into his head. And again, I'm just making sure that it is actually very, very, very saturated, wet, to make sure that when I start blending it out, that it will kind of match the skin. I mean, I wasn't trying to make it exactly flat because I wanted it to kind of look more like lifted and kind of gross looking. And saturating again and kind of blending out just a little bit around the areas. And making the under pencil saturated as well. And he's dripping, so there, I just made sure that I kind of blended it into the rest of his face. That way it would be a little bit easier to kind of make it look more flat, but not make it look as flat. Now I'm just trying to prop it up a little bit, make it a little bit more horizontal, I think. I don't know. Yes, horizontal. Duh. I'm stupid. So now I'm taking the skin toned makeup, the base, and I'm just kind of putting it on kind of lightly. His skin tone's a lot lighter than the makeup that I have on hand right now, but like I said in my last video, I'm doing it for a reason, because at the end it's going to kind of look bruised up and bloody. So I kind of made it as light as possible. It's not going to look necessarily as light as his skin tone, my bad, skin tone, and and then we're just trying to blend it in a little bit without it looking incredibly obvious that it's not his skin tone. And you can kind of tell that it's not his skin tone, and you can also tell that you can see the tissue. But like I said in the beginning, that is for a reason. So now I'm kind of putting a little bit more makeup on, making sure that it looks right and enough to make it kind of look more realistic, and letting it dry a little bit so I can put the other makeup on without a problem. I'm kind of blending out. And just make sure that you guys, when you do this, you don't want to take too much makeup, just because if you take too much, then it's kind of overwhelming. And right here, I'm taking like a bright red to kind of make it look kind of inflamed a little bit. And then I took a purplish to kind of give it like a bruising kind of effect. Not so much around his face yet, but I will get to that. It's basic bruising, but I kind of made that kind of darker right there just for a reason, because it kind of gives it a little bit more depth, which is nice. Always really nice to have depth in your makeup. Now I'm taking like a maroon, and I'm kind of fading out and making him look like really bruised up and around his face, facial area. And now it looks like he got punched in the face really hard, and yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? So now I took a little bit of the black just to give it a little bit more depth. Make sure around mostly the pencil area, just because around the pencil area is where like the scabbing is going to start up. So I wanted to kind of give that more of like an actual depth look and kind of scabby. And I will go over it with the like maroonish red to kind of take away the black. And I'm really just kind of dabbing it around and kind of blending out into the rest of it, but just mostly dabbing, just because the dabbing will in the end make it more smooth, instead of rubbing it, making it too thick to where you can't see the black anymore. And I spilled blood on him. Oh, don't that stink. And right now I'm actually putting blood around the area, just kind of like base coating right now, and soon enough I will be using a little paintbrush to kind of flicker it onto the face to kind of give it like an actual like a spray effect on the rest of his face. I'm putting more blood around it, and let's see. As you can see, the makeup kind of does rub off, which is okay. You kind of give it more of like a meaty tone. And now I'm just kind of splashing the blood all around his face and on his ears to kind of make it look like when he got the pencil jabbed into his face. Blood splattered all over his face and everybody else's face who stabbed him, I guess. Don't stab people in the face though, that's bad. Never do it. And now we're practically done. Basically showing you, and I'm going to pull this cap off. I did cap him just to make sure that I didn't get any liquid latex in his hair. It's a little bit easier. And yeah, like always, like, share, and subscribe. And